What do you want to get better at? Are there skills you need to learn?
If you're not asking for referrals, I would just encourage you.
Finding the right mentor for you. All right, everyone. Well, I want to welcome you to live coaching, and it's an honor and privilege to be here with all of you. One of the biggest gifts for me is really around legacy, and I do not do private coaching. I do business mentoring, where I'll take an idea that you have, and together we'll create the architecture to turn it into a business. There's one of you that I had a session with, and it started off as a small concept, and now it's evolving to the point where we're getting a technical build out quote, and what would that look like? And so I do offer that, but I don't do private business coaching. I'm a certified coach. And for those of you who don't know me, you came in from a friend recommended, or you came in something you saw on Instagram or whatever, a little bit about my background. So currently I oversee 3 companies, and one of the companies that I oversee is really fun. It's myself and all men. There are no female employees whatsoever. It's a tech company, and currently we've grown that company since it was incepted in 2017 to a current valuation north of $100 million. And so that's that whole world. I own a digital marketing agency, Agency 8, that is focused only on small business owners and new entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, coaches. Many of you are clients there. And then I also have my brand as well, but then I also have a direct sales business. So in addition to all of that, I have 5 kids. There are 2 cats right now in the house. Since my daughter moved home last year during COVID, she brought a cat with her. We have a rescue dog and a crotchety old Chihuahua. And we're going through a major renovation at the house right now. Deanna's talking about her internet is sketchy. My power and internet went down today. You might hear jackhammers or things in the background. And one of my philosophies, and go ahead and write this down, when things are like chaotic, is to say it's all perfect. And Pam's like, we're in renovations too, right? Why do we put ourselves through that? Okay. Kim just finished another reno. I started last year during COVID. I started to look at everything, and I went bathroom by bathroom by bathroom in the house. And then we just finished the last bathroom, and I was like, oh, now we're going to do the laundry room. So now we're doing the kitchen, but now we need all new floors. So it just doesn't end, right? But anyway, it's so good to be here with all of you. So before we get started, I want you to ground yourself and just take a moment to ask yourself why you are here. Why are you here? Are you here because you are seeking some piece of knowledge that will help you take your business to a new level? Maybe it's knowledge in sales or marketing, some business skills. Maybe you're here because it's a feeling of wanting, a feeling of longing, that feeling of community. Maybe you're here because you want me to kick your butt. And so you're going to hear me say, boss up, girls, right? It's time to boss up. And maybe that's why you're here. Maybe it's a combination of the above. But if I could contribute one thing to you in our coaching session, I want you to ask yourself, what would that be? And if you feel comfortable enough in the chat to put that in, I'd love to hear. If there is something I can contribute to you, I would love to see what that could be. Okay. It's great to have your sister, Ruby. Needing help on why I'm not taking action. What can I do? So maybe feeling paralyzed, right? Want to be 10 foot high and bulletproof. Your faith and encouragement has meant the world to me. I think nailing down a niche that is in the long run, not just generates revenue, but to help people. Balance of building your own business while balancing a team's need. just wanting to know if I'm doing enough. That's a great thing. Imposter syndrome. I just did a YouTube video on that one. To take action, to kick some butt, says Miss Terry. Absolutely. I finally have the inspiration now, require the consistency to become a better leader, hiding behind social media only and not asking for the invite for the meeting. Confidence, clarity on my new brand. I'm incorporating a new piece into my coaching business and soaking it all in. These are fantastic. So what I want you to do is think about what your question is. I'm going to run through a few announcements, and then we are going to get the party started with the first question. I like to have a lot of fun too, and I am raw and real and direct. So I promise you, I will not be holding back whatsoever in the least. And you know, I've been coaching people for a very, very long time. So I don't feel that sugarcoating anything is going to serve you, and it's definitely not going to serve me. So a few announcements super quick. So if you haven't seen, we've just updated my YouTube channel. So we're putting out 2 pieces of unique content every single week, and so much there to inspire you. So I just did a video on imposter syndrome that's up, 5 tips for mental health. Sammy DeLao, she worked on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I know some of you watched that. How many of you have ever seen The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? Just give me a heart, or a, if you know how to use Zoom, you can do the little heart emoji. She's worked with some of the biggest names in Hollywood, Kevin Hart, all these different people. And she, during COVID, she said, you know what? I am suffering a little bit of imposter syndrome myself, and I'm just not feeling like I'm living in my authentic life. And you know what she did? She moved to Bali during COVID. And you know what? She'd never been there. I said, Sammy, had you ever been to Bali? She went, nope. And she moved there, and that's where she is. So that's a great one. The newest one that came out is Sam Crowley. He goes step by step about how to do your own podcast. And he does this podcast from a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot. You may say, well, is he any good? He's had 20 million downloads, and he's the personal podcast coach for Tony Robbins. So anyway, he's super cool. So check it out on my YouTube channel. We just did a website update. So thank you, Jessica. The fun part for me is choosing the branding and the look and feel. And then Jessica took what was in my head and made it come alive. We are adding free resources all the time. I'm going to do a free course. I could have charged for it. And normally when I do a course, just candidly, I'll make tens of thousands of dollars. But I was like, I'm just going to give it away. And so I'm doing a course on how to build a 7-figure business. And so that is going to be coming out. So make sure you are subscribing and checking out all the updates. Now, this is my baby, the 7-figure women's retreat. And this is going to happen October 21st to 23rd in Sedona, Arizona. And there's a $500 off coupon. It is case sensitive Sedona 21. Some of you are already registered. And I'm going to show you a little bit about this event. I am so excited about it. So this is an intimate event, and it's designed for women who want to build a 7-figure and beyond business. All of my girlfriends that are coming to train, they all have 7 and multiple 7 and even 8-figure businesses. I am one of my girlfriends. She and her husband are billionaires. They have been on the Discovery Channel. So we're just working out some dates, but literally it will be these amazing, high achieving, loving women, and about, 20 of you. And that's it. And so what's going to happen is you're going to arrive on Thursday. We're going to shuttle you from Phoenix to Sedona. We're going to have just a yummy, beautiful night, really focusing in on what you need, what are your blockages. We might have some wine after. I'll be drinking wine if you want to join me. You don't have to drink wine. That's not mandatory. And then the next morning, we're going to get up. We're going to go for a hike, and then we're going to be working all day in our yoga clothes. We'll have meals together. And then Saturday, we're going to wake up, we're going to do yoga. And then by the end of it, one of the things I am certified in is neuro-linguistic programming. And what we're going to do is we're going to take your dream business that generates over $1 million a year, and I'm going to do some NLP techniques to anchor it in so that you will feel compelled to act. And so you might be like, well, is it $5,000? No. Right now, the price is $2,997. That does include your meals, your transportation. I only have, I think, 5 spots left. Use the code Sedona21, and we do have a payment plan. Now, you might be wondering, what about COVID? If I can't travel, we'll just give you your money back. It's not a big deal. Okay, COVID is a big deal, but your safety is a bigger deal. And I know that if you're in Canada, who knows what's happening with the border, but Arizona is, nice and open. We're going to make sure everyone is safe. It's going to be beautiful. And it's the ultimate Mother's Day gift to give to yourself. Okay, so that is just let me put that in the chat because I am so excited about this. I can't even begin to tell you. I know Marcia is going, Amy's going, Deanna's going, Barbara is going. It's going to be so amazing. So anyway, I can't wait. I can't wait. Trish says she might not leave Sedona. Girl, you're absolutely welcome. Arizona is a beautiful place to be. So make sure you go and grab a ticket. This event will sell out, and I'm not going to expand it and put 100 people in the room. It's designed to be intimate because I want to help you break through, right? What breaks my heart is when you stay stuck. So with that, let's get into coaching. Who has a question? Again, you can private chat. Oh, thanks, Pam. Pam says, great show on podcasting with Sam Crowley. I really enjoyed it. What is the process to get it broadcasted on iTunes or Spotify? High five, Pam. How many of you have ever thought about doing a podcast? Just put a little heart. I want to have Sharon says yes. Okay, just put a little heart. Dr. Simone says yes. So the first thing I want to say is this whole concept of imposter syndrome. Like, what would you say, right, if you were going to do a podcast, and why would people listen to you? Let me give you a few statistics on podcasting. One is that 80% of podcasters haven't put out a new show in the last 90 days. I've had almost 500,000 downloads of my show. And last year, I just started putting out a new show every single week, right? So 80% of them don't. Let me give you some examples. My friend Joanne, her family is very, very passionate about bone marrow donation and bone marrow transplants. Could Joanne do a podcast that, they interview people who've donated, interview transplant recipients? Do you think a lot of people would listen to that? Yes, absolutely. Joanne's like, no, I think a lot of people would, because when you have a family member who's going through leukemia, it's scary, right? So one of the things I recommend with your podcast is find a niche or a niche, depending where you are, because the riches are in the niches. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is, how do you start it? So you can record it on Zoom. That's what I choose to do because it's easy peasy. And that way I get a video. Then I also get the audio. You can record it on your phone, on your iPhone. I can't speak to the Android because I don't have one, but you can record it on your iPhone, just in your audio file. Then as Sam Crowley walks you through, he records his in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, just his thoughts every day. And then you can upload it. You can do it if you have a Mac, you can just upload it yourself to the audio mixer and just slap a beginning on. And then you can put it on something called Libsyn. Libsyn is what we use. When we push it to Libsyn, then it pushes it out to Spotify and it pushes it out to iTunes. Now, some of you might say, oh my gosh, Susan, that sounds really confusing. You know what's really confusing, girls? When you're not bossing up, when you're in your heads talking about the same freaking goals that you were talking about 10 years ago, and you didn't boss up and actually do what you said you were going to do. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, last year during COVID, I was like, okay, I'm going to do my show every single week. And I didn't have time to go try and get great guests. But fortunately, my friend, Mark Victor Hansen, who for some reason loves me and I adore him, he just kept sending me people. He's like, oh, I just did John DeMartini's show. He needs to be a guest on your show. My podcast schedule is booked until July now, and I don't really have a lot to do with it. So I want you to start to think about, it doesn't have to be a podcast, but it's very easy to do. And I recommend listening to Sam's show. He's not selling anything in the show. I'm not selling a course on how to do it. He literally walks you through how to create your own podcast with less than $60. And do you know what the money is spent for? To get someone to give you a really nice intro. So you can go on Audio Jungle and you can pick some music. You can buy it for like $9.99. And then you get a designer on Fiverr to create a nice intro for you. And you have your intro and you're off to the races. That's it. That's it, right? I know someone and he's very talented, but he's not as organized as he would like to be. And he tells himself he's very focused, and he could have an amazing podcast. And he did like 3 episodes and then he just stopped, right? You have to be willing to be bad enough, long enough to get good. The same thing is true with YouTube. So that's a great question, Janet. Oh my gosh, what's the purpose of a podcast? It's one purpose. It's to get your message to the world. That's it. Now, how do you monetize a podcast? All sorts of ways. When enough people are listening to it, you can sell advertising. You can draw people to a list and then sell them on things. You can use your podcast. I make connections and I end up enrolling people in my network marketing business who've been on my podcast. It's fabulous. It's so good. Okay, I'm going to come to that. Is it Cecil or Cecile? Or am I messing that up? Okay, let me get back to what I was going to say about YouTube. So YouTube is another amazing platform for you. And YouTube is easy peasy, pumpkin squeezy. In fact, they do a whole free course. YouTube gives you a free course. So don't buy a YouTube course on how to grow a YouTube channel. I don't care what business you're in, video has a higher conversion than any other type of platform. And so you could have your own YouTube channel and all you literally do is shoot a video horizontally and you get, that's why I love coaching. I don't care if I tell you all my secrets. I know people and they make like $5 million a year building their brand and they won't tell anyone their secrets. I'll tell you everything. I don't care. So I bought this guy. It could be a girl too. I don't know. Trisha's laughing. She knows me well enough. It's a tripod, so I'm calling it a guy. Some of you are like, Susan, that's so dirty. That's okay. It's ladies' night. That's okay. If guys are here too, just laugh. So this tripod off of Amazon, I think it was like, I don't know, $15. But here's why I like it. So I can just clip it horizontally because for YouTube or any of the videos that you're shooting, unless they're going on Instagram, you want to shoot it horizontal and then you just go ahead, shoot your video. You can even get a little mic off of Amazon, plug it into your phone and off you go. And you can direct upload your video to YouTube yourself. YouTube for free will caption your video. It's awesome. It's awesome. My dad, who's 81, started a YouTube channel. Now, he was all excited about his YouTube channel, but he has a green screen and he has his background, it's black, and he likes to wear black sweaters. So he looks like a floating head, and I don't want to be the one to tell him. But anyway, it's very entertaining. And he started his YouTube channel, and he has conversations with his sisters. And the beautiful and sad thing about it, my dad is very close to his sisters, and they're all in their 80s and 90s, but they had all interviewed each other and told stories on this channel. And about 8 weeks ago, my Aunt Valerie passed. But how cool is it that they have this family YouTube channel and that we can all go see her telling stories? Isn't that beautiful? So I want you, thank you. I want you to think about social media and podcasts and YouTube and things as not just things that you do to go make money, because if making money is at the forefront, you're not going to make money. If you add value at the forefront, that's where you're going to make money, and it's going to last. Right. So yes, a podcast and a YouTube channel are great ways to market yourself. This will draw people to your business. Absolutely. So I'm going to show you on Libsyn, and it's Libsyn, I believe. Libsyn. Thank you, Malika. You're awesome. I just want to show you something super quick because I always want to be promoting good friends of mine. So I'm going to take you to my friend's YouTube channel. All right. And if you haven't subscribed, if you know a narcissist, you must subscribe. Are you all seeing Rebecca's channel? You guys see it? Sharon, you're awesome. Thank you for nodding. So her channel is one thing. It's about dealing with narcissists, right? Every video she has, and she's already done a video on her take on the Gates divorce, the truth behind Kim and Kanye, is Jeff Bezos the narcissist, right? So Rebecca's one of my closest girlfriends. She has 128K subscribers. She's an attorney, and she said, I'm not going to practice law. All I'm going to do is this, focus on teaching people how to deal with a narcissist. So I will tell you how Rebecca puts out all her content. You guys ready? She gets her hair done. She does her makeup. Her team gives her topics that she puts on a Post-it note. And then she gets in front of her camera, and mostly does it on Zoom, and she records herself talking about, whatever. So this video.
Hey there. So Bill and Melinda just announced they are getting a divorce. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen next for these two? All that and more coming up in this video.
So I'm going to like it just because we're friends. So with that, you can see that creating content is not that complicated. So Pam Dunwald is starting a business, and she's got to create some content, and she has an opportunity. If you don't like to be in front of a camera, don't do YouTube. You can do a podcast, right? So Rebecca is the best. I love her channel so good. Thanks, Sharon. So the other thing that's really important is that whatever it is you are going to do, write this down, please. You commit to doing it for a year. So my friend Lori Harder is launching her light pink brand, and disclosure, I'm an investor in that company. Lori is verified on Instagram. She still has her network marketing position. They've made millions in the same company as myself. And they decided to get into doing masterminds. And they, at first it was like, who's going to come to this? How are we going to price it? They attended a lot of masterminds to learn. They did paid masterminds. They got a coach. They did all of it. They said, we're going to commit to a minimum of a year to really understand this. And their first year out of the gate, they made over $1 million. And whatever business you're in, it's that level of commitment, right? And one of the questions that was asked is, how do I stay committed? I'm going to tell you all right now, it's not easy. I've been doing my network marketing business for 18 freaking years, but I've made $21 million doing it. Now, some of you would say, I would do it for 18 years if I was going to make $21 million, right? But did I know that when I started? No. I made a commitment. My initial commitment was 7 years. And then I said, okay, I'll go for 7 more. And then I got to 14 years. I said, I'll go for 7 more. Right now, this year, the last 8 weeks, we have just put a focus on YouTube. So I'm not there to play. That's why I'm putting out content. And here's another confession. I shot a video on burnout and I was like, this video is pretty good. The internet cut out while I was recording it. So that one was no good. I recorded another one. We had an audio problem with Zoom. There was no audio. So I'm going to have to record it the 3rd time. So I guess it's going to be really good when I do it. So I just want you all to know, sometimes it's messy. You're going to have times when you judge yourself and you're like, oh, I don't feel like posting on social media. I don't look that good. That's where filters come in. You can do all of that stuff, but it really is about that consistency. Right? So that I know we did a lot there, but it is a great way to market yourself and market your business. And again, video has a much higher conversion to sales than any other form. Okay. All right. Okay. There is this question. What is the best platform now to grow an online retail business besides a website? And what do you think of live selling marketing? Any advice on how to grow a retail business? Yes. So Shopify has great retail sites and they are very customizable depending on what you're going to retail. If you have just one thing you're going to retail, you could use something as simple as ClickFunnels, or if you have an actual store where you're going to have multiple retail items, Shopify is really good. The reason, websites are powerful in terms of retail is that they are more customizable, but I'm going to show you another company that I advise that is in the retail space. Let me open up their website. Sorry, it's just spinning because it's Zoom. I know you all want to watch the Gates divorce commentary. Okay, so this is a new startup. So I just want to disclaim a few things. So the premise of this startup is a place for good. So all of the things that are sold on the website, on the back end, they help rescue women from trafficking. They get lunches to kids who don't have good sources of food. Then on top of it, there's a community where good things are shared. And then the other aspect of this is gamification. So people earn points for sharing, for purchasing. And so it's very cool. So when my business partner and I were first invited to participate as mentors for this company, we're in the process of helping them do a $1.5 million raise at a $10 million valuation. So, and they're based out of Canada, but they have warehouses in the US as well. So here's where, and if you all want to shop, go ahead. So this is a WordPress front end and a Shopify back end. I don't know how to code that myself, but anyway, just to show you. So here you can see on the left, the different impacts. So say we wanted to click on supporting women, and then you can see the different products that they have that, the different companies that support women that they have as vendors. Oh, I don't have that heart-shaped pottery dish. Oh, look at the wrap bracelet. Sorry, see, it's like a squirrel. So this is, and Joanne, Bill and Carabelle. So this is their company. And very, very cool. So that's an example of an e-commerce site. Now they have invested a significant amount of their own money into this, getting the graphics done, the gamification done, the user interface done. But I know that this company is it's definitely going to win. So I own several things from this company. I own these Joy mugs. I bought a bunch of jewelry here. So anyway, that's that. So Cecil, does that help answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. And then our Jessica, who designs websites for us, you can hire her to build you a website. And she's built the Agency Aid site, and she's built the Susan Sly site. And the Susan Sly site is evolving. We're adding things to it all the time. There's different things. Okay, next question. In promoting on YouTube, you mentioned she got her hair done, etc. Do you recommend the professional look versus come as you are? I've seen both as being successful. Let me ask this question, show of hands. How many of you would freak out if you had to get in front of a camera and your hair wasn't done? Okay, we're honest. I love it. No, okay. So thank you, Deanna. This one is not from Good Goods. This is, it's a vintage Chanel necklace. So I have a little obsession with that. But anyway, so it depends what it is you're doing. So Rebecca's an attorney. Do you think it's important she looks professional? In the chat, right? But if you're a vegan or you're a yoga instructor or you're doing reviews, like, you know, let's say you're reviewing children's items of some sort, you need to look appropriate for whatever it is you're doing. The highest paid YouTuber as a woman is Lily Singh. She was making 10 million US a year, she's Canadian, on YouTube. And for 4 years, she put out 2 unique videos a week on 2 separate channels, and no one watched her channel and no one subscribed. But on YouTube, this always happens. One video tends to just go crazy, and then it brings people to your channel. And so now she got a huge multiple 8-figure deal to host the Late Late Show. Right? So what I would say to Lori Harder, she does, her podcast is audio only, it's no video. So she'll show up with a top knot. You know, for me, I didn't do anything with my hair today, but it just depends, right? So if I know I'm shooting videos for my YouTube channel or for Instagram or for whatever I'm doing, sometimes I will get my hair done, because here's why. Number one, is it a tax write-off? Yes. So I will also plan a date night with my husband that night. Now you know all the secrets, right? It's like, oh, dang, Susan's hair looks good. So we're moving to a new production schedule where I'm going to bust out most of my podcasts in one day, once a month. So that morning I'll go and I'll get my hair done. I also have a photographer that I hired that comes to my house once a month, and I'll get my hair done. And then right after she leaves, I'll just go shoot a bunch of video content. So it's all done. The other thing I learned from Rebecca, she doesn't put on any makeup or do her hair or anything on Fridays. She's in sweatpants. She's like, just Fridays is an absolute no to that. So I'm learning all the time from my girlfriends, but let's face it, she has 122,000 subscribers. She puts out a video now, and within 12 hours, she has thousands of views organically without promoting. So it's just really about you deciding what kind of image you want to portray. Kim Freezy is a life coach, and she coaches high achieving women. So she may want to not show up in like a university sweatshirt or something like that, right? Makes sense? Okay, thanks, Rebecca. Yes, I love the time management tips. Yes, Malika, I know. Shouts out to Lily Singh on so many levels. I love it. Who else has a question? Go ahead and ask whatever question you want. You can put it in the chat. And then while you're asking your question, what's something you've learned so far? Maybe there's something where you're saying, gosh, I'm starting to feel inspired to go in a certain direction, because I'd love to hear those things too. Who has a question? How do you come up with a theme for podcasts and YouTube? I have no idea what I talk about every week. So here's what I suggest you do. Write down 10 things you're passionate about, and then cross 5 off the list. So we call this a topic wheel. And so within your topic wheel are your 5 things that you could talk about all the time. So for me, time management is one, or I call it productivity. The other thing is small business success. Like, you know, the failure rate in my mind for small business is so high. I want to change that. The other thing I'm passionate about talking about is women in the workforce, and especially in jobs that tend to be male dominated, and how do we navigate that? You know, you could show up honestly in a wool suit with your turtleneck on, and someone still might think you're Victoria's Secret business sexy. I mean, I was out for a business meeting, and this guy decided that he was going to essentially lean in and kiss me, and I'm like, back the you know what off. And then he kept texting me like, I'm like, you know, I can handle myself, but he wouldn't have done that if I was a different gender, right? And so I'm not going to apologize as a woman for taking care of myself, for showing up and looking good, because that's not for the guys, that's for me. So there are different things I talk about that I'm very passionate about. Okay. And so that's where you narrow that focus, and then you look at that focus and say, is there a way to bring these all together? Some of the most widely watched YouTube channels are things like gardening, how to fix stuff. You don't have to be Tony Robbins. People love how-to things, right? How to meditate, how to do yoga, how to. They also love interviews as well. Is it possible to overpost? Yes, 100%. The reality is, that's a great question. Someone private messaged me. You can overpost, but what you want to look at are your algorithms. So if you look at Instagram, Facebook, they show you your algorithms, and it's very easy to see when people are paying attention to your posts. Now, I found for myself, I get a higher penetration if on Instagram I just post once a day. If I post 2 things a day, I don't get the same level of penetration. However, you're the one training your fans and followers. So if you start putting out 2 pieces of unique content a day, they're going to expect it, right? So the other thing I want to talk about is which social media to really focus on, because some of you are really stuck there. Yes? Right? So you're kind of like, should I be on Instagram? Should I be on Facebook? Should I be on LinkedIn? Should I be on Twitter? Should I be on Pinterest? So would it be okay if I go through the benefits of each of the platforms to help you decide? Okay. All right. I'm going to start with LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been really for professionals. And LinkedIn is business to business, generally speaking. When you're posting on LinkedIn, you want to keep it classy, and you have to be consistent. Now, generally speaking, people, unlike other social media where you get a lot of engagement and it makes you feel good, LinkedIn is sometimes like crickets, but it doesn't mean people aren't seeing your posts. The other thing, just so you know, on LinkedIn, that when you look at someone's profile, you can see all of the posts they've liked and commented on. So if you are, you know, secretly very political and you like something, don't worry, everyone's going to be able to see what it is. And so you can also, with LinkedIn, the nice feature is you can see everyone who's viewed your post and viewed your profile and what sectors they're from. So let me give you some specifics on LinkedIn. You're on LinkedIn if you do business with adults. You're on LinkedIn if you are representing some kind of company. My LinkedIn is very much about 2 things. It's about Radius and my podcast. That is all I'm really doing on LinkedIn. But let me give you some examples of some things that have happened to me on LinkedIn in the last 2 weeks. People who use LinkedIn a lot love LinkedIn messaging. So you've got to pay attention to it if that's going to be your platform. And I did a meeting for Radius with a major, huge company. And every guy from that meeting sent me, they were all guys, they sent me a LinkedIn request. And so because they had personalized it, I knew who they were and I accepted them. I have thousands and thousands of connections on LinkedIn. When you go to connect with someone, send a personalized note. I saw the article you wrote on LinkedIn, or Joanne, I saw that post that you did, you know, regarding your daughter, whatever it is, add something personal and people are going to be much more likely to respond. LinkedIn now allows you to do lives, but you must apply to do it. If you have not seen my show with Joe Soto, please go on YouTube and watch it, or you can go and listen to it on iTunes or Spotify. Joe goes in the weeds on how to really get good at LinkedIn Live. So that's what I would suggest there. The other thing that happened to me on LinkedIn, I was taking a course at MIT in cybersecurity, and several of my professors and colleagues in the class connected with me on LinkedIn and started private chatting. I do a ton of networking on LinkedIn, and a business deal that I'm working on right now, which is, let's just say, it's a very big business deal. I wasn't getting a lot of traction on some questions. And so I sent a connection to one of the senior vice presidents of that company. And I commented on his post. We became friends on LinkedIn. Then we became friends in real life, and things are speeding up now, right? So that's a good place to use LinkedIn. Do you have to have a presence there? You should have some kind of presence and pop in there every single day, okay? If I was a coach or a consultant to adults, I would be on LinkedIn. If I had a service that helped executives, I would be really active on LinkedIn. You want to make it your mission to send somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 5 deliberate connection requests on LinkedIn every single day. But it's generally speaking not something that translates well in the business to consumer space. The next one let's focus on is Twitter. So Twitter is like the ghetto. It's really rapid fire. A lot of people on LinkedIn are on Twitter as well. Depending on who you follow, it's, you know, obviously very political, and there's a lot of business stuff that happens, but right now for the average person, Twitter isn't converting into monetizing sales. So I go on Twitter, I like and comment, I tag, there's an AI bot that when you do a certain hashtag, she will just retweet everything I post. So that's why I'm on Twitter, but I don't really monetize Twitter. Instagram is important if what you sell is visual. If your business, like Barbara has done a ton of coaching with my daughter Avery, and her Instagram is sick. Like, it looks so good. At Lady Kane, it's at Lady Kane Sweet Treats. And so Barbara, do you mind telling everyone in the chat, how long have you been on Instagram? Okay, I'm going to share Barbara's Instagram, and I want you all to please follow this. So Barbara really started on Instagram. Let's see. Whoops. Let me go back to the sharing. Okay, so since Avery started to, yes, Malika, I do too. If it's not personalized, I delete it as well, unless I know the person or whatever. So I want to show you Barbara's Instagram. Okay, so what business is Barbara in? Who can tell me? Super quick, who can tell me in the chat?
Candy.
She's in handmade, delicious, beautiful chocolates, right? So does it make sense for her to be on Instagram? Yes. And then she, so you can see, right, how adorable, And then now she is also on TikTok. And so she's creating content on TikTok as well. And 78% of people will look at your social media before they buy from you, no matter what you sell. I'm going to say that again. 78% of people will look at your social media no matter what you sell. So for Trish, let's say in a network marketing business, I'm thinking of it, I'm now looking at her social media. Like, does she represent her products? Is she a product of the product? There has never been a time like there is now where we're forced to be in integrity with whatever it is we say, because it will be all over social. We can't be like, oh, I am like sweet and Christian and everything, and then we're out at the club doing body shots, because that's going to end up on social, right? So it's better just to share your perceived flaws with the world and just to be raw and real, because people like that. Instagram is a funny monkey. You've really got to understand how the hashtags work. Your photos need to be beautiful. I have a photo of myself and Terry Fisher. Or Carrie Fisher rather. And today is May the 4th be with you. It's Star Wars Day. It was taken when Carrie and I were on a television show in Australia together. And it was before iPhone. So it's not the clearest photo. So did I post it on Instagram today? No, I could have posted on my story, but I didn't. I post on Twitter though, because it's not as important for things to be beautiful on Twitter. On Instagram, it's important for things to be beautiful. Facebook is having big problems right now. So Facebook owns Instagram, and Facebook is having a war with Apple, and they're probably not going to win. And so businesses are leaving Facebook because when they're spending advertising dollars there, the iOS users aren't seeing them. And the reason Apple's mad at Facebook, who knows? Who knows why? Privacy. Because Apple is saying to Facebook, you have all this data, you're sharing the data, you guys are like violating so many privacy laws, and we're not going to be aligned with a company that does that. How many of you remember the San Bernardino Massacre? It happened a few years ago. Amy does. Did Apple open up that terrorist phone for the FBI? Who can tell me? No, they did not. What happened though, an Israeli company was able to hack into the phone and they gave the information to the FBI, but Apple didn't allow that. And it was a big, it was a big controversy. So Apple said, you know what? No, right? We're not going to do it. So Facebook, which owns Instagram, they're having some problems. A lot of people are going to TikTok. On TikTok, you have to be entertaining. You've got to be engaging. It's all video content. I am not active on TikTok whatsoever. As the CEO of a tech company, yes, it can make me relatable and so on and so forth. I have friends who are on it. It's just not my priority right now. When I'm doing business deals that are in the millions and millions and millions of dollars, I have to, right now, as an example, there is a company interested in investing in Radius AI and taking a big equity stake. Do you want to know something I found out last week? They've looked at all of my social media. They've watched my YouTube videos. The company that they hired out of New York to do the valuation on our company, they watched all my YouTube videos, and it went even further. They looked at all the social media of my kids. So as a tech CEO, is it a good idea for me to be dancing around in a bikini on TikTok? Probably not, right? Because I need to be brand aligned with that. Before I answer the next question, I'm not done yet. So that's TikTok, fun, entertaining. TikTok is also good. Again, if you have a visual product, it's amazing. The next thing is YouTube. I want to circle back to YouTube. So a lot of creators who are creating on Instagram are coming and creating more on YouTube. Why? Because YouTube is owned by Google. And if you're going to be advertising your business, you can do some really cool things with keywords. Here's a little secret for you. If you're a coach, if you buy the keyword law of attraction, it is one of the cheapest keyword phrases to buy right now. And don't you think people who want a life coach might be following law of attraction stuff? Of course they are, right? There's a little hint. Okay, so that's my little summary of social media, but I wanna say, because this comes up in live coaching all the time, some of you are in a platform that isn't serving you and you're just so damn comfortable because that's where you've been for years. You've been on Facebook for years. If you haven't had anyone join your business or buy products from you from Facebook in the last 90 days, you might want to take a look at, do I need to be here? Or should I be on LinkedIn? Or should I be on Instagram? Because just because you're comfortable doesn't mean it's good for you. I'm really comfortable, girls, in sweatpants eating barbecue chips, but it doesn't mean it's good for me. Right? And I'm not saying Facebook, I know people who monetize off Facebook, but you're building a business, you're building a brand, you're all in business. Is it the best place for you right now? I don't know the answer to that. Okay. All right. So I got a private question, and this question is someone who's fairly new in real estate investing and education, and used the AI program that we're recommending at the agency, and it came out with the following description. So I'm going to read it to all of you. You guys ready? So this description was written by an artificial intelligence. My mission is to empower you to live the life you want by making your money work for you so that you can focus on what matters most in your life. I like it. You deserve financial freedom. That means being able to make decisions about how much time or money you spend without worrying about whether it will affect your ability to pay bills or have enough left over in savings. It also means having more control over the quality of food that goes into your body, because when we are healthy physically, we are better equipped mentally and emotionally as well. And finally, it means living with less stress, knowing that even if something unexpected happens financially, there is always a way out because everything has been taken care of ahead of time through careful planning and preparation. So I like it. I think it's trying to accomplish too much because I'm confused what it's about. It's talking about health. It's talking about money. I would, I think that the person who messaged this, yes, I think it's good for one of your businesses, but I don't think it's the right thing yet for real estate. I think the health thing, it's confusing to me. That's my honest opinion, right? Okay. So can you only buy keywords if you have a website? Google doesn't like it when you don't have a website. Google does not like that because you can't SEO landing pages that well. So yes. Okay. So they prefer that you do have a website. Awesome. Okay. Who's got another question? We have a few minutes left. Who's got another question? I have a question for all of you. If you haven't earned $1 million a year yet, what's stopping you? Yeah, me, right? Yourself, right? So you're getting in your own way. And what would happen if you weren't in your own way? I know most of you, and you all have the capability, you all have a business vehicle of some description. One of my friends was a coach. They made $2 million a year coaching, right? You all have that ability. But I'll tell you, there are about 8 things I've identified, reasons why women don't make $1 million a year, and they should. And is life getting more expensive? Just say yes in the chat. Is life getting more expensive? Yes, right? Fuel prices are up. The cost of plywood has tripled in the last 6 months, right? So many things are getting more expensive. And, you know, in my mind, $1 million a year is just something that is your birthright. You should be making $1 million a year. And so that's why, you know, I wanted to pose that question. That's why I'm really interested and focused on helping women get to $1 million a year. That's my, you know, as I turn 50 next year, that's going to be the thing I'm working on for that whole decade. My vision, and I want to answer a couple more questions so you guys know, is to take small business owners and help them begin to learn the basics of business, and then work with them to help develop their ideas to grow large, significant companies. That might be in the technology sector, it might be in the education sector. I don't work with anyone at that level unless I think their company is going to be worth over $100 million or more within the next 5 to 7 years. But it all starts here. And here's the freaking problem. A lot of women are being told they can't. Only 2% of women-led pitches to VCs get funded. 2%. So just because of your gender, you're not likely to get funded. So that's why this work is important to me, and you guys showing up so that I can pour love into you and answer your questions in a way that's safe. There's, you know, for you to grow those businesses, right? Okay, super quick. I want to answer as many of these as possible. Okay, all right. Okay, yes, agreed, Malika. Okay, someone had asked this question. All right, okay. I'm in the beginning stages of my direct sales business and merging my fitness background into do fitness courses, etc. How many social media channels would you recommend being focused on posting and consistently? Ashley, for you, hun, I would say Instagram and TikTok. Those would be my go-tos right now if I were in fitness, for sure. All right, Susan, with so many choices, how do you find what is the right vehicle to do for yourself, right? So how do you figure out what that vehicle is? I am a big believer in multiple streams of income, right? So my friend Lori has 3 businesses that generate over $1 million a year for her. I just, you know, the way I look at it is I'm going to take one thing and I'm going to be committed and I'm going to grow it before I start it to my next thing. But I expect the thing I grew to keep paying me money while I'm growing my other thing. It's just a mindset that I have. So one of the things that I would suggest to all of you is whatever vehicle you have, ask yourself, have you fully committed to that? Have you, you know, gone all in? And if the answer is no, that you haven't, what would happen if you said, okay, for 90 days, I'm going to go all in for this? What could we, you know, for 90 days, what would happen? Results, right? And so just for 90 days, and make it the gift that you have with yourself. So I'll share with you a little secret. So lean in, girls. I don't care what business you're in. I have a philosophy. It's 3 leads a day. Even in radius, 3 reach outs a day. And then when, like one thing I'm following up on, it could be millions of dollars, And I don't say that lightly because this is a huge company that I'm following up with, a multi-billion-dollar company. But when they're ready to do business, will I still be following up with 3 a day? No, because I'll take my focus, get that one going, and then it's back to 3 a day, 3 a day, 3 a day. And even in my direct sales business, it's 3 a day, 3 a day. Like whatever business it is, it's just, it all comes down to reaching out to 3 people a day, building your network so that when you need to make a sale, it's just like that. Super, super quick. Okay. Okay. So Pam's asking, do you see more value in starting coaching alongside your network marketing revenue stream? I always tell people to get that business to $100,000 a year before you start doing anything else, because there are a lot of coaches out there that haven't achieved, and people want to be coached by someone who has achieved. I have a funny story. I don't even know if I should tell it to you, but I'm going to tell it. So someone decided to gift me with executive coaching without asking me. It was lovely. It was a lovely gesture. They don't know I'm a certified executive coach. They don't know that I already have coaches and mentors, but they bought me this gift. It was thousands of dollars. So I reached out to the person to set an appointment, and I reached out and I reached out. Then I had May follow up with them 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. They didn't even get back to me. Today, we were supposed to have our very first session, and the power went out in my house. So I had May just message and say, Susan's going to be 15 minutes late. She's still excited. The person didn't even show up, but they acknowledged my message that I would be late. The world doesn't need another coach who can't get their crap together, right? And I'm not saying that's you, Pam, that's not you, but there are a lot of people out there, and I've seen it. They couldn't make it in network marketing and they decide they're a coach. There's a difference. Kim Freezy is a certified coach. She has many certifications, right? She's very talented and skilled, but I don't think anyone should be coaching until they've got something, a platform in which to coach on. And that's just my like Lady Gaga drop the mic moment. If I went back into coaching, I would be charging $3,000 a month per client. I would have an application process that would give them 4 45-minute sessions a month, and I'd probably make millions of dollars a year because of everything I've achieved. And I'm certified, right? But I'm not going to do that. But I'm just saying, like, I believe you take what you got, you get it going, and then you start doing your other thing, right? Well, that stream of revenue is going. What is your top time management tip, and how do you prioritize? It's very simple. So I take 3 companies that I have, and I have a principle called the 5 principle. If you haven't read my book, Organize Your Life, don't go try and buy it. We just, with the publisher, we're getting the ISBN rights back because they were acquired. And I think my royalties on all my books were something like 25 cents a book. So we're getting our rights back. I'm updating all my books, and then we're going to control our royalties. Anyway, so don't buy my book, but let me tell you what's in the book. How many of you have heard an author? Don't buy the book. Don't buy it. Okay, so here's the thing. With the 5 principle, you want to do 5 things every single day that generate revenue for each of your businesses. Now, generate revenue and protect revenue. Those are 2 different things. So where did this principle come from? Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, best-selling book of all time, second only to the Bible. Mark holds the record for the best-selling author of all time. He's written more best-selling books than anyone else on the planet. Guinness Book of World Records. So Mark is a friend of mine. I'm like, how did you guys get Chicken Soup published? They were denied by 100 different publishers. Everyone was like, no one's going to want a book of short stories like that make people feel good. Okay. So between them, what they said is, we're going to reach out to 5 publishers each every single day. And they eventually got published, and they got 25 cents a book on their first book. And then they renegotiated. So I was like, okay, cool. I really like this principle of 5 things a day. And then I'm reading the book Homeless to Billionaire by Andreas Pira, and he takes 5 actions a day on each one of his companies. So 5 is a good number. Yes. So what are you doing with those 5? So in my direct sales business, I'm doing the following. I'm either reaching out to a prospect, I'm following up with a prospect, I'm reaching out to an existing customer to relationship build with them, to inspire them to maybe want to share. I'm doing 3-way calls. That's the 5 things I would do there. In my own personal brand, it's content creation. I created a video. I promoted live coaching. I, use conversion AI to work on a blog, or, whatever it is I did, but it's 5 things: putting out content, engaging with people, promoting my products. And then in Radius, I'm doing 5 things look a lot different. So I am, maybe creating things that are needed for a Series A investment. I'm following up with prospects. Some of them are the same. I'm connecting with new prospects. I'm negotiating deals. I'm reading sales contracts. I'm on with our attorneys. So, but every single day, my goal is 5 in each one of those companies. Does that make sense? So that's why I say start with 1, because if you can get your groove 5 things a day that are going to generate income with one business, and you get that up to a minimum of $100,000, that's when you can start your second one. And that's the thing. You all can. You're all capable, right? But part of that is that sometimes for some of you, when things start getting good, you go into self-sabotage mode. And that's why at the 7-Figure Women's Retreat, I'm really going to anchor things in so you won't self-sabotage. I had a woman who came to one of my events, and she messaged me. She goes, I don't know what you did to me, but I just landed a $50,000 client. Like, she's like, I don't know what you did. I'm like, there's, but anyway, so the whole goal is that you can anchor in that way of being, the 5 items a day, 5 items a day, right? Yes, Michelle. Yes, okay. So Michelle, okay. How do I build my business when I don't feel the part? Do we all ever not feel the part? Right? Do we all never not feel the part? Yeah. Right? So I'm going to give you, and I get it, Michelle, and I love your question and I love your heart. Michelle, I think, has so much integrity because she's courageous enough to ask that question. So as many of you know, I lost a business in 2000. I went bankrupt. I was diagnosed with MS, and I was, before that I was 200 pounds. So write this down, please. When we go through a traumatic event, that story remains with us until we shift the purpose of that pain. So when we go through a traumatic event, that pain will still stay with us until we shift the purpose of that pain. So what happens in our body, in our physical body, especially as women, is that when we go through trauma, we go through infidelity, we go through sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, which is, having gone through that, it's, I would say, and like many of you, I was sexually abused, mentally abused. I think the mental abuse is right up there. The biggest thing I will say is that shifting your story around the pain is key. We are all amazing storytellers. And so you have the ability to tell yourself a story that is negative, or you have the ability to tell yourself a story that is positive. And I'm going to give you, and I'll finish with a little coaching activity. And would you all tag me on social once you've done it? Can you all agree to do that? Just add Susan Sly in your story, okay, on Instagram. You don't have to tell everyone what it was. Just say, yep, rewrote my story. So here's how you are going to do it. How many of you, and I know Sharon, you have to pop off, be super quick, girlfriend. How many of you grew up watching Disney movies? Okay. Yes. All right. What happened in almost 100% of those movies up until the recent ones? Who rescued? She was rescued by a guy, right? And so we watch those movies and we're creating this program that someone's going to rescue us. And then it's like, but I'm gaining all this weight and I'm exhausted and I've got adrenal fatigue and I'm overwhelmed. Someone rescue me. I went through that in 2000 when I lost everything. I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, will you come and get me and put me in the hospital? I'm exhausted. And he said, no. He said, toughen up. So I did. I had to, right? So when I realized at the age of 27 that no one was going to rescue me, I rewrote my own story where I rescued me. Right? I rewrote my own story so that I rescued me. And so what I would love for you to do as an activity, if I journal every single morning. I write pages and pages. Whatever's in my head. I want you to rewrite your story where you rescue you. And that is new badass you rescuing the you who isn't bossing up yet. So what's your superhero name? Since it's May the 4th be with you, what's your superhero name? What's it going to be? Right? And what happens when you come to rescue you? And what changes? Rebecca, the answer is yes, I am. Every week. Yeah. And Pam, yes. We do this alongside with social media. Right? So we're adding value to you. We're adding value to people. We're letting people know how we can add value. All right. But here's the thing I want to close with. Karen said it. You are your own superhero. You're your own superhero. Boss up, girls. No one is going to do the workout for you. No one is going to pay your bills for you. No one, someone I know, her husband just passed and it's really sad. He's the one who paid all the bills. He ran everything. And, I've known many women like that and they're paralyzed. It's time to boss up. It's time to rescue yourself. It's time to write the story. And the thing I'll say in closing, thank you, Michelle, is I'm a big believer in affirmations. So after you rewrite this story, pick 5 affirmations. Pick 5 affirmations and say them every single day. And this is why I do what I do. This is why I don't charge for this, because I just genuinely want to help all of you succeed. It is my mission in life. And so that, please rewrite your own story. That's what I want. I want you to rewrite that story. And if you do want to come hang out in Sedona, it will change your life. You will emerge. I have done 20 women's events. I've broken arrows on women's throats. When I do these events, I haven't done one since 2014. It changes people's lives. We've had healing, we've had breakthroughs, we've had women who've gone on to write books and become millionaires. I got a message from someone, she had been in an abusive relationship. She got out of the relationship and then she built a multiple 6-figure business. There was a woman who came to one of my events and her husband always wanted, them to do like swinging and stuff. And she bossed up and went back and ended up changing their marriage, changing their family tree. So many amazing things happened. So boss up, girls. I would love to have you in Sedona. Don't forget, it's Sedona. What is the code? 21. Yes, I don't even know. Sedona 21. I think it's on the website. Anyway, I love you all. Don't forget, just tag me on Instagram after you've written your story, and I will be doing another live coaching session next month. So bye, everyone. Bye. Bye.
So long. Thank you.
Thank you.